Market to the Gen Y, Gen Zers, and everybody follows. It's the younger generation that drives a lot of the trends and the new things. And they're a smart, educated consumer, right? And so the boomers and the grandparents and the parents see how the younger generation, how much they know about the food they eat, where it comes from, what are they consuming, who owns the business, are they good to their people, right? And so they're just so well educated about so much in their life that I think they become their own personal influencers in their own families and circles of friends. A lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in this rut where they think to be successful, they have to continue to grow and expand and just keep building and building and building. And I guess I would say that that's not always success, because if you can build a great, solid business and have time for your family and time to travel and work-life balance, that is also success. Yeah, I mean, and social media is reaching everybody. Heck, when you're single and you date now, you don't go to bars anymore, and you don't even go online. They're going on social media to do it. So it's staying abreast of those things and making sure that you can compete in those venues.
I just learned two new things. One is that you have an actual person making the ice cream. I thought at a certain point, with your production facility, for example, that it's probably not the same process, but it sounds like
it's exactly the same process.
Wow, that's incredible. So
you just need more people to make more.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. So did you face any labor issues, like with the last few years, it's been a tight labor market. Did you have trouble staffing your production facility or like your stores the way you want to in order to continue the process the way it currently is? And then did you ever consider cutting corners and not doing it that way?
So we've never had problems staffing our shops. I think we have a great reputation in town. Every parent wants their kid to work in an ice cream shop for their first job. And I think people know we're really good people to work for. Clementine's is a great place. And you're really cool if you work for Clementine's, right? Like, people get all excited if you work for Clementine's. So we've got that going for us in the shops. And I think, we've struggled, just like everyone else in the back of the house, getting the ice cream made. I think, but we've grown and changed a lot as a company too, right? We offer a lot more benefits. And of course, in the last couple of years, we've had to pay much higher wages than we've ever paid before, but that's good. That's good for our people, right? And sometimes we have to charge a little bit more for the ice cream or for other stuff. But I think most people get that nowadays, that, our cost of goods have increased over 33% in the past year, right? And we didn't raise prices 33%, right? Because you can't. There's only so much somebody's going to pay for an ice cream cone. But I think, yeah, you have to figure out ways to be smarter and better without cutting corners, because I think that's why we've been so successful, is because we don't cut corners and we still make the ice cream the same way, and we still use the same high quality ingredients. We still use natural products. That's just the kind of company I want to have.
That speaks very, very highly of you as an entrepreneur. And I'm going to throw this out there. I know the reason for why you don't do it, but if you wanted to cut corners and you wanted to add more air in the ice cream, that would have brought down your shipping costs considerably, correct?
Well, it would have brought down shipping costs, but it also make us more money, right? Because you're selling more air. And right. I just don't fundamentally believe in that.
Yeah, which as a consumer or customer, I appreciate. I had never thought about ice cream this deeply. So this conversation is so amazing to me.
Oh,
especially especially the air part and how it melts quicker. When you're trying to eat ice cream that has more air in it, and it's all making so much sense to me now.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, if you go into some place and they give you this huge bowl of ice cream, don't eat it, because it's full of junk you don't want in your body, and it's probably not going to taste that great anyway.
For folks that are health conscious, then, is Clementine's the smarter choice, as far as nutritional value goes?
Well, I mean, it's still ice cream, right? So you got to take that in consideration. But, I think we're pretty intentional. We use maybe 50% less sugar than other ice cream companies out there, because ice cream's a cheap filler. And I don't believe in that. If I'm going to make strawberry ice cream, I'm going to use 8 pounds of strawberry versus 2 pounds of sugar, versus other ice cream companies might use 8 pounds of sugar and 2 pounds of strawberries, right? And, I don't want just a frozen sweet treat. It actually numbs your taste buds. And so you don't actually get a taste. It's frozen sweet at that point. And if I'm going to make a strawberry ice cream, I want you to taste the strawberries, and I want to make sure they're good strawberries.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you have a favorite flavor, by the way?
I hate it when people ask me that question. It's like, how do you pick? It's like picking your favorite kid. I think my favorite flavor changes over time, right? I love my new flavors, but my Madagascar vanilla, I still eat every day. I mean, it's my solid, steady, and true. Like when I come walking into a shop, most of the people there will just go and start making me a hot fudge sundae because that's kind of my regular go-to, and they know that's what I love. So I love my Madagascar vanilla quite a bit because it's really amazing. But I like a lot of the new flavors too. It kind of depends on the year and what mood I'm in and what the holidays are. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite naughty flavor?
Ooh, yes. I love the pink champagne sorbet. It's so awesome. And there you can do a lot with it. So I like that one. And our maple bourbon with salted candied pecans is the number one naughty flavor that we sell. That's like the crowd pleasers and everyone loves it. That's pretty darn good too, especially if you like bourbon.
I think I'll have to try that one.
You should.
Just in terms of your split, if you know it off the top of your head or if you want to share, what percentage of your customers would you say are coming in for a naughty flavor versus a nice flavor? Is it like 90-10 or something along those lines?
I don't really know exactly that, but I'll say that more and more customers are coming in for the non-dairy. We have this massive cult following for our vegan non-dairy ice creams, and that is a segment of the market that is just exploding. And, people have been really loyal because we make really great vegan ice creams, and they don't taste like other ice creams. They're actually taste like real ice cream, and they're good. And so that's been a growing part of our business that's bringing in a lot of new folks.
You're really good at the marketing piece, of course, building your personal brand, the Clementine's brand, which is one of the various factors that I'm sure kind of helped with the cult following for the vegan ice cream. But do you have any just very general entrepreneur to entrepreneur marketing tips, branding tips that come to the top of your head that you can share?
Yeah, market to the Gen Y, Gen Zers, and everybody follows, right? I mean, it's the younger generation that drives a lot of the trends and the new things, and they're a smart, educated consumer, right? And so the boomers and the grandparents and the parents see how the younger generation, how much they know about the food they eat, where it comes from, what are they consuming, who owns the business, are they good to their people, right? And so they're just so well educated about so much in their life that I think they become their own personal influencers in their own families and circles of friends. That I would definitely say, like, all of the young trends and things that are happening, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat or Clubhouse or whatever that next new thing is, if you want to stay relevant and be hip and cool, then that's where you need to focus, no matter how uncomfortable it is for you, because you just got to stay ahead of the game.
That's a great tip. And I would imagine it's primarily, like you mentioned, Snapchat and whatnot. So primarily social media that's reaching this segment of the population.
Yeah, I mean, and social media is reaching everybody, right? I mean, that's where you go. I mean, heck, when you're single and you date now, you don't go to bars anymore, and you don't even go online. They're going on social media to do it. So, I mean, our whole pop culture, everything is really being driven and shifted by social media. So it's staying abreast of those things and making sure that you can compete in those venues.
You just mentioned dates, and then you also mentioned like families, for example. And Clementine's, in my mind, is a place for all of the above. Whether it's a date night, a family night out, whatever the case is. Did that kind of factor into the way you design your build outs? Because to me, your build out, like, I love the way it looks. My wife also loves the way it looks, and usually we have very different tastes.
Yeah, I think Clementine's has its own brand persona. It's very hip and cool and edgy, but also very like nostalgic and sentimental and and homey and old school. So it's a really unique blend of, going back to the organoleptic experience of that for people that really resonates with all ages and all audiences.
And was that something that was primarily your brainchild or just a team effort?
It was a team effort, but Frank, who works with me, he's our brand curator, and he's been with me almost since day one. And he's really the brainchild behind all of the shop design and part of the Clementine sparkle and magic. That's really driven from Frank. I can't take any credit for that. That's all him. I take credit for the ice cream and the ice cream flavors, but that's really Frank's magic there.
Well, shout out to Frank for that. Love the way the shops look. The last part of the show is what we call a hole-in-one, just your top advice that you can give to someone listening today or watching today that they can implement into either their life or their business, just whatever type of advice you want to give.
I guess I'd say a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in this rut where they think to be successful, they have to continue to grow and expand and just keep building and building and building. And I guess I would say that that's not always success, because if you can build a great solid business and have time for your family and time to travel and work-life balance, that is also success. And I don't think people talk about that enough, because they think, oh, I need to go raise this, I need to go IPO, I need to do this, that's not always success, because you're on that wheel running pretty hard. And so I guess I would say, take the time to stop and smell the roses and to really look at your life. And if you're making great money and you can put money away and be really comfortable and not work 80 hours a week, then do it.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's a great reminder for everyone listening or watching, myself included.